uh, Another sleepy. I almost said ASMR. You know, I've talked about doing these like ASMR videos, and I did kind of as like half joking, maybe to see if I'd get some extra reviews, like sleepy fragrance reviews, like S. People are just like Clayton, we would not fucking watch that. Just stop. Anyway, I'm only gonna do one fragrance today. It's a fragrance I've actually been wanting to smell and try out since it came out. The House of Sona's #1. Definitely a fragrance I've wanted to smell since it's come out. Just because like reading the reviews of it. I don't remember if the first review I read of it was on like for Granica. They had like an article about it, or maybe like I think there's like a blog Kefesk or something like that. But whatever the case, you know what I mean. I heard about it, when it came out. I'm like, wow, I really want to smell this, and I just have finally now gotten around to wearing it and smelling it, and it's one of those things that's like, oh man, fuck. I like it now. I actually kind of want it, right? So I'm gonna do a little review on it, and I'm gonna ramble on and repeat myself as I often do. But one thing specifically I'm going to talk about is while I do this review and impression, there's an idea that when a lot of people do fragrance reviews, a lot of times people use the term well blended. And personally, I myself, I never use that term because, first of all, I mean, I've been into fragrances for a long time and I've spent way more money than any normal person should ever want to spend on fragrances for sure. But at the end of the day, I don't make fragrances, so who am I to really say something is well blended in the first place? Because, I don't make fragrances. And second of all, what does well blended even really mean? Because I can tell you there's a ton of fragrances that smell extremely synthetic that I think smell amazing. So, what does well blended really even really mean, if you get what I'm saying? But this is a fragrance that is basically smooth as fuck, I think. It's super smooth. So if that means it's well blended, this is, it's just an extremely smooth fragrance with not a lot of rough edges. And what I mean by that is, what does it smell like? Well, there's a lot of notes that could potentially be offensive or harsh or be put off as, you got oud in, you got oud in here, you know what I mean? But this is not a harsh oud at all. This is very wearable. Um, you know, you got clove in here. Even something like tonka bean. Sometimes tonka bean can be a little funky or even a little animalistic or just off-putting depending on how much you have on. Other times it might smell a little powdery. You know what I mean? There's just, if you look at the note breakdown, there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong in this. And I don't think there's anything that goes. There's actually like besides the opening that is definitely tingles your nose just a little bit, can be just a little bit fizzy maybe. But for the most part, it's just very smooth. There's like, there's no sharp edges to this fragrance, which in a way could be bad because considering it is a lot of money, the performance for me was just average. It wasn't anything, insane. It was just kind of like what I usually get out of fragrance. Basically, lasted good on the skin, but it was not projecting very hard. You know, what I mean? It had a little scent bubble, but considering the price, you might be disappointed, and considering the notes, you might be disappointed. But it was, it worked well. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. But so what does it smell like? You see a lot of people that the reviews for it that it smells something like a cherry vanilla Coke. I can see that. I can see something like a cherry vanilla Coke or maybe some kind of like cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper. But really with I think of on this drink, there's really is like a vanilla whipped cream with like a literal cherry on top because it is that kind of like cherryish, fruityish feeling and that kind of vanilla more so than the pop because again, even with the ginger in here and the cinnamon and again these other notes that could potentially tingle your nose, it's just again I don't like the term blended very much, but it's just blended in a way that besides the very first little bit of it, it doesn't really tingle your nose. It's like a very smooth, sexy kind of comfortable ride, I think. So yeah, it could be kind of a cherry liquor kind of smell. I've also seen people say it kind of has like some tobacco nuances. I agree, it could have a little bit of tobacco nuance, but again, it's never harsh enough, even with these notes that it smells harsh. So what does other people say? Yeah, some people say it kind of smells like a cherry cough syrup. If it's a cherry cough syrup, It's something that you know they used to have like the purple drink. Do people still do the purple drink thing? I don't know what people do. I feel like people were doing that when I was a kid. This would be something that kids would get drunk on again. Do you know what I mean? If this is the kind of like thing, like they'd put some whipped cream on your cherry cough syrup and they would drink this. So yeah, it's really hard for me to say. Maybe something like imagine like a cherry wood incense stick, and the cherry wood incense stick, I guess, is the smoke that is coming out of it isn't really a smoke because again, it's not harsh. So instead of being a smoke, it's an aura, and the aura is kind of like the incense stick is giving out an aura, again, not aura, not a smoke, of just a vanilla kind of cherry, comfortable, warm vibe. Or I've even thought of maybe something, because again, I've tried to visualize these to make it something more interesting. Imagine you're in a very dark room, right? And maybe there's like a red, you know, cherry vanilla candle or something like that. And that's the only thing that's lighting the room. And so it's giving the light that is also coming from the candle is like, it's a wooden room, and the light is like, or like the light is like just showing you just the red glimpses of the room of like, you know, just dark, darkly lit red wooden room or something like that. Just a candle is like lighting it just a little bit. Maybe there's even a fireplace because it is kind of a warm fragrance. I mean, wood can have a kind of a cool tinge to it, you know what I mean? And maybe that is why there's a fruity nuance, even though there's no actual fruits in here. You know, wood can have kind of like a cool tinge to it. But again, nothing's as sharp in this fragrance, but assume maybe even in this room that there is a fireplace. But again, the fireplace, no smoke is coming from the fireplace. You just feel the warmth and like the comfort and the aura. And that is what I get from this fragrance. I actually don't think I've smelled a couple of others from the House of Ciliage too. And again, looking at the notes, I would actually say this is the least masculine one of the ones that I've smelled from House of Ciliage, even though you would think that maybe that citrus one they would have, or not the citrus one. Yeah, you think the citrus one might be the least masculine, but this is the least masculine fragrance, men fragrance that I've smelled from them, which might be kind of strange, you know, looking at the notes. But I could see a woman wearing this. I wouldn't mind, you know what I mean? I think it smells good. So yeah, it's kind of you know, just kind of like it is just kind of tasty. It is snuggly, but again, there's nothing. It doesn't lean towards any kind of vibe for me that I would automatically think of it as gourmand because again, it's just such a smooth, comfortable, slightly tasty aura of a fragrance. You know what I mean? So I can see a lot of things that people have said about it. It's just hard for me to agree on any because nothing besides maybe the very first opening when you spray it really tingles your nose. It's I would love to, you know, this is a very snuggly kind of tasty fragrance. I can imagine someone walking by, them smelling sexy. I'm not sure, maybe not sexual per se, but it's definitely relaxing and sensual. Would that be better? Is sensual a little bit less than sexual? Anyway, I think it's worth smelling. If people like the kind of fragrances I do, you know what I mean? I'm kind of sad I like it because I do kind of want it now. Hard for me to justify because I have so many fragrances as it is now. But I'm sure if I can get a good price on a decant, I'll probably end up getting a decant of it. That was kind of longer than I wanted to. Would you guys be mad if maybe I do something like, you know, I don't even look at the camera very well, do I? Maybe I'll just like put like my review here and I'll just read. Just imagine that I'm like looking at you or something. Anyway, I got a lot of other fragrances I need to do, and I might even do that workout video because people have been asking me to do that one. So anyway, thanks for watching. The end. If I can find the button.